Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and my name is Enzo. LM stands for Lore Master, but obviously you already knew that. This channel is all about the Elder Scrolls universe and everything and anything contained within it. I was actually really happy with how the first lore video went on this channel, seeing that I'm still new to this universe in terms of creating content for it. I also just want to remind you guys to consider leaving a like if you enjoyed. You can do it now or at the end. Also consider subscribing to the channel so that you don't miss any videos, and comment on what topics you'd want to see next. Other than that, let us dive into today's lore topic. One of the oldest tales in Tamriel speaks of the one known as the Dragonborn, a mortal being with the soul of a dragon. The legend of the Dragonborn has existed since at least the time of the dragon rule in Skyrim in the Mythic era. There are many theories as to how the Dragonborn come into existence, ranging from the dragons blessing a mortal with the soul of a dragon to the same blessing being granted by Akatosh. When a Dragonborn is revealed to the world of Tamriel, they are summoned to the Greybeards for training in High Hrothgar in the Way of the Voice. Should the Dragonborn accept this training, they are eventually granted the title of Ismir, or Dragon to the North, upon acceptance, and will continue further training. Of course, even though we see this as the Dragonborn in the event of Skyrim, we do have the option to abandon the training by siding with the Blades when asked to kill the leader of the Greybeards, Parthenax, due to his past, but that is a story for another lore video. Now, of course, one quality that distinguishes a Dragonborn from the rest of the pack is their ability to master the Thu'um. But this mastery isn't quite unique to them. The Thu'um can be taught to non-Dragonborns. Famous examples are, of course, Ulfric Stormcloak, the Greybeards, Wolfhearth, and the three heroes of Skyrim, with the three being able to create their own shout. But they required years of study under their masters, all which started with Parthenax and the few dragons who turned on their master Alduin during the Mythic era. The Dragonborn, of course, is naturally attuned to the Thu'um, meaning that the moment they learn a shout, they can instantly shout it. One ability that is unique to the Dragonborn, however, is the ability to absorb a dragon's soul after defeating them in combat. This then they can use to master new words of power. This has been, and up until the 4th era, the only known method of completely killing a dragon and erasing it from existence. This is shown in Skyrim, where Alduin can revive dragons who have been killed in the past. And we're not just talking dragon skeletons that are like zombies, we're actually talking about them returning back to the flesh to continue the work where they left off when they died. The Dragonborn has a rich history of Tamriel, and those who have been bestowed with the dragon blood have been involved in some of the biggest events in the world's history. The first known Dragonborn is a Nord that goes by the name of Mirra. This, of course, is the same Mirra who is the main antagonist of the Dragonborn DLC in Skyrim. Mirra was born at the time of the Dragon Rule era in Skyrim, when Alduin ruled the lands. The three legendary heroes of Skyrim at the time who sought to end Alduin's rule had called upon Mirra to aid them in their quest, but the latter refused, having been seduced by Hermaeus Mora with promises for more knowledge and power. So while Mirra was granted the blood of the Dragonborn, he was a greedy bastard who was willing to fall to slavery for a Daedra in order to get what he wanted. Mirra then met Valak the Jailer in combat and was defeated, but was saved by Hermaeus Mora before being killed by the Jailer itself. I've created a short that recalls this story, but if you would like the long form version of it, let me know in the comment section below, and of course leave a like on this video. If this video reaches 25 likes, I will cover that story in long form. Even though Mirra refused to help the three ancient heroes, they waged war against Alduin and his forces regardless, and with the help of the rogue dragon Parthenax, as well as aid from an Elder Scroll, Alduin was banished from the world. But in reality, he was simply pushed forward in time. The next recorded Dragonborn was Alicia, who was known as the Slave Queen. Her actions in the Nedic rebellion against the ancient Ayleids who ruled over Cyrodiil gave way for her to start the first line of emperors and empresses in Cyrodiil, as she was granted the Amulet of Kings by Akatosh, making her the first of many in the line of Dragonborn emperors in Tamriel. Another major event in the First Era occurred in 2703 of the First Age, where the Akaviri attempted to invade Tamriel, although there is speculation that they were merely searching for the Dragonborn, who at the time was Ramon Cyrodiil, the emperor at the time. He thwarted their attempts and later introduced the ritual of the Amulet of Kings in order to fully recognize those of dragon blood to be crowned emperor or empress of Tamriel. At some point during his rule, Ramon and the Akaviri Dragon Guard constructed Alduins Wall in Skyhaven Temple in Skyrim in 2812 of the First Era. The purpose was to record all history and dragon lore the Dragon Guard had experienced in their time, as well as foreseen future events that would occur. Events such as the Oblivion Crisis and the inevitable return of Alduin were recorded in this wall, which came to pass in the future. In a way, they constructed this as a warning message to future generations for what is to come. Raymond then sealed the entrance to the temple, doing so in which only the Dragonborn can open. Unfortunately, throughout the years after his death, the entrance to the temple, and by extension the temple itself, was lost in history, and it wouldn't be until centuries later that it would be opened again. Which is ironic considering this was made in the first place to recall the history of the dragons so those who would follow would not forget them. The line of Cyrodiil ended when Julius Cyrodiil, who died in 2920 of the First Era, ending the line of Cyrodiil and the First Era by extension. Now this is where we get a little bit mysterious, as the Second Era of the Tamriel saw much more uncertainty since the line had ended. As there was no sign of anyone with dragon blood emerging, seeds were planted for plots to occur in this time period. One such plot was done by Varen Acularios, under the manipulation of Manimarco, who had taken up the title of Emperor himself by lighting the dragon fires, even though he wasn't Dragonborn. Unfortunately, he did not see Manimarco's treachery, and when he was convinced to participate in a ritual that was supposed to make him Dragonborn, Manimarco forced him and his company to the ground while he absorbed the power of the Amulet of Kings. This treachery and ritual was the catalyst for the event in the Elder Scrolls Online, where the entire world of Nirn is caught in an event known as the Soulburst, which is the cataclysmic tear of the worlds of Mundus and Oblivion, and subsequently the Plane Meld, where Molag Bal attempted to use dark anchors to merge Nirn into his own realm of Cold Harbor. The events were eventually stopped after the efforts of the Vestige and the Five Companions. Yet another nastier attempt at becoming Dragonborn happened in the events of the Elder Scrolls Online again, this time in the expansion Scalebreaker, taking the form of a rogue dragon guard Grundwolf. With the help of a clan of vampires in order to reform the Empire to their vision, the converted Nord attempted to become the Dragonborn by drinking the blood of the captured dragon Saratnax. Sorry if I butcher the name. This plan fails as Grundwolf dies shortly after the event and the dragon dies from his energy being drained from the attack. I must say, that's a disgusting way of even thinking about becoming Dragonborn, yet so fitting for a clan of vampires. However, a Dragonborn is born during the Second Era, but these were mostly rumors. Wulfharth, whom many of us may know as Ismir, believed he was the Dragonborn, but when he went to the Greybeards to accept his role, he was said to have blasted to ash as they spoke. But he was still proficient in the use of the Thu'um despite not being of dragon blood, insisting he studied under the guidance of the Greybeards in the Way of the Voice. Knowing he was not the Dragonborn, he embarked to find the Dragonborn of legend. This journey would eventually take him to the province of High Rock, where he discovered Hjalti Earlybeard, who later came to be known as Tiber Septim. After learning the Thu'um from Wulfharth, Tiber Septim then went to the Greybeards and the group welcomed him as Dragonborn and trained him. Now, of course, tales of Tiber Septim are grand and some details may have been lost or confused over the years. Regardless of which recounting of the tales you consider to be true, Tiber Septim regardless became a legendary figure in Tamriel's history, especially during the Second Era. And there are many stories of his adventures, some of which we may cover in this channel. If you want to see some of those tales recounted, also consider liking this video so that I know you want to hear more of those tales. The legacy of Tiber Septim as a result of his finding of the Amulet of Kings during the Battle of Sancretor led to the rule of the Septim dynasty of emperors in Cyrodiil, thus starting the Third Era of Tamriel. Throughout the Third Era, the Dragonborn Emperor line of kings would continue, that is, a major event 433 years later. The Mythic Dawn, a group of worshippers of Mehrunes Dagon plotted to kill the Emperor of Cyrodiil at the time, Emperor Uriel Septim VII. After a chance encounter with the hero of Kvatch, who happened to be imprisoned in the same room as their escape route, the hero accompanied the Blades and the Emperor to safety until they are ambushed by the Daedric cult, leading to the death of the Emperor, but not until leaving the task of finding his hidden heir, Martin Septim, to the future hero. This leads to the events of the Elder Scrolls IV, Oblivion. Another notable Dragonborn in the same timeline was the leader of the Mythic Dawn, Mankar Camoran, who was able to wear the Amulet of Kings and shout fire. The results of the main quest in Oblivion results in the death in both the living Dragonborns of the time, when Mankar is killed in Paradise, his own realm of Oblivion by the main character, and Martin Septim dying after lighting the dragon fires and smashing the amulet, merging with the avatar of Akatosh to do battle with the invading Daedric god Mehrunes Dagon. Now we come into the Fourth Era of Tamriel, and the start of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. As the Last Dragonborn depicted in the prophecy in Alduins Wall we talked about with the Akabiri in the beginning of this video. Well, I think many of us who have played Skyrim for countless amount of hours know how this goes, as the main quest of the game recounts this prophecy, as well as the events that occur. such as the Dragonborn being acknowledged by the Greybeards as Tiber Septim has centuries earlier, the return of the dragon rule in Skyrim by the hands of Alduin, similar to that of the Merethic era. The Dragonborn then learns the shout Dragonrend, which forces the dragons to land and fight on equal footing with its foes, and the Dragonborn's journey to Sovngarde to enlist the help of the three ancient heroes who fought Alduin long ago eventually led to the ultimate defeat of Alduin in Sovngarde with their help, thus permanently ending the rule of the dragons in Skyrim and the victory for the Last Dragonborn. Now, we know Alduin isn't the only one the Dragonborn comes across that is notable in Tamriel's history. The Dragonborn DLC puts the Last Dragonborn in battle against the first Dragonborn, Mirra, who has taken control of all the citizens in Solstheim. Unfortunately, despite attempts by the first Dragonborn or the help from Hermaeus Mora, the Last Dragonborn emerges victorious, thus reaching the end of the Dragonborn lore. Unless the Last Dragonborn isn't actually going to be the last Dragonborn and another will appear in Elder Scrolls 6, in which case we shall call them the most recent Dragonborn. And that about does it for the tale of the legendary Dragonborn in the world of Tamriel. Honestly, we could have easily ventured into the lore of each Dragonborn, but for the sake of being precise, I wanted to keep it short and sweet, even though the video itself wasn't short and sweet. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed today's lore video, and make sure you consider subscribing if you want to see more tales from the Elder Scrolls series. Also, feel free to comment on what topic you would like me to cover. There are so many to choose from, so take your pick. And of course, leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. Other than that, this is Enzo signing out, and of course,
stay out of trouble, Imperial.